Good evening, everyone. Today is November 18th. This is podcast number 12 of the year. And again, we have a special college edition for you guys today. We have David Kirk from ISU, the Redbirds. Welcome, David.
It is great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to be on. We just want to get you on here to talk. You guys are a new program. We want to make sure that you get out there because a lot of people might not know. Well, they'll know very soon if they don't know now about what your program is and the success that you're hoping to have this first year. So this is basically for you to kind of talk about your program, what you're looking forward to, your hopes and ambitions, and how kids, if they're interested, how they can end up being players at your school. So if you want to go ahead and start, and we'll pull questions from chat, and I'll go ahead and ask questions, and we'll probably get Mr. Kennedy in here as soon as he gets back home. He just is coming back from the win from the Overwatch match that you guys saw just 15 minutes ago. So as soon as he gets in, we'll throw him in here too. So
Yeah.
take it away.
Well, I can give a brief run through of our program. It's rather unique. So if you follow collegiate esports, you're probably going to learn something new today. A little bit of my background is I'm actually an Illinois State University grad. I did grad school there back in 2014 and received my master's in recreation administration. And I did my master's work at that time on esports in higher education. So as I'm sure many of you are aware, that's around the time Robert Morris started coming out with varsity esport, and that's where everything started. I came from the University of Akron when I came back to Illinois State, where we won a few national championships in Rocket League and Rainbow Six. And then we also developed a new type of esport program and structure, which is what I've brought here to ISU. So our program at ISU really has four main pillars. We have varsity, so that's probably what you're all familiar with. Intercollegiate competition, the best of the best competing against other universities. For our varsity teams, we do recruit internationally now, not just domestically within the U.S. And we're really looking for those top tier players. We're very lucky to be able to grab some folks from Illinois in our first round of recruitment for our varsity teams this year. Many of you, if you follow us, might know Drew Nyberger or Drew Dozer, who is our varsity mid laner, who's done extremely well this semester for us in just the 2.5 months that we've been competing in some of the collegiate and amateur tournaments. Our varsity teams right now at ISU are for League of Legends, Overwatch, and Rocket League. As more titles become more popular and there becomes more developer buy-in and more league buy-in, potentially a national governing body will continue to look at adding additional titles. I know that right now we're currently looking at potentially Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six, and then maybe even Call of Duty with some of the growth that it's seen lately. For our varsity teams, we're really looking for that top 0.01% when you look at the leaderboards. So our League of Legends team is really a grandmaster / challenger level team with three players who are at that challenger level now, and then two players who are continually in masters and GM. Our Overwatch team, we're looking for roughly 42 to 4,400 SR, just so that we can remain competitive in the growing collegiate ecosystem. We've got a pretty solid team right now, but we've got some room to grow with that team. And then for Rocket League, obviously the rankings changed, and now we've got Supersonic Legend. So we'll probably be upping our draft prospects for those who meet that criteria. Right now, we've got about 1,900 MMR players who were grand champs all last season. So we do only have one team for varsity for each one of the teams, rather than an A team and a B team for right now. But it is my hope as we continue to grow to expand to offer a little bit more opportunity. If you're not into that competitive level yet, to where you're really performing at that top tier, we have a lot of other opportunities at the university that we've been building out right alongside our varsity program, and that's within our Redbird gaming clubs. So our Redbird gaming clubs have blown up pretty exponentially at this point, mainly due to the support of our current esports graduate assistant, Jack Blonick. We're very lucky to have Jack. He is an Illinois native as well. Came from ISU and was actually the club president of the Redbird Esports Club there for 3 years. So it's fantastic having him lead this initiative because, like I mentioned, we're at 16 total Redbird gaming clubs. We've got Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege. We've got League of Legends, Overwatch, Rocket League club counterparts to our varsity teams, as well as some non-gaming specific clubs like Dungeons and Dragons, anime, and some of those other really popular titles. The reality is, if you like a game, there is probably an audience of student on ISU's campus that also likes that game. So we're trying to support as many people to build a club to start growing that scene as possible. Um, the third level or the third pillar of our program is really centered around casual gaming. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic and some social distancing needed, we've not had an opportunity to engage students to just drop in our arena and play. But we will look at doing that potentially in the spring, definitely in the fall semester as well. Um, for those of you who may not be aware, Illinois State just finished a temporary arena space for our varsity and club teams called the Vault. If you've not seen it, there are plenty of pictures online. It's a fantastic space. We've got 25 high-end performance PCs. We've got 240 hertz monitors. We've got sponsored by SteelSeries, so all top-end peripherals, everything you need to just sit down and game. As we look to open to that casual community, we're going to be looking at purchasing game licenses so that we really take the onus off the student for having to purchase those themselves. So many of you are probably really excited about the new Call of Duty that just came out, or potentially the new Spider-Man on the PS5. Those are things that we as a program would look at purchasing to provide students access to be able to come in and play. Now, the Vault right now only has PCs set up there because most of all of varsity competition right now are on PC. But we recognize that there are a lot of console players, and we don't want to leave them left out. So, with the launch of the new consoles, we're actually getting 6 of each to put into that space so that any student can come in and play on those as well.
That's awesome.
And then just the final pillar of our programs are academic integrations. So Creative Arts Technologies has rebranded at the university, and they're actually launching a game design program next fall. So if you're interested in learning game design, that will be a fantastic opportunity because we've got some really great professors that we're partnering with our program to get them in front of our gaming audience so that they can get real-time feedback. A lot of the time they're utilizing our facilities as well for those classes. We're also looking at some sponsorship or some partnerships with our business school, knowing that esports as a business is a multi-billion-dollar business. So if you want to get experience in, developing or running your own org, we're trying to figure out how we can get that experience through the State Farm School of Business, as well as School of Communication. So as many of you know, broadcasting, event management, communication, social media, all those are growing areas as well. And those are areas that we're looking to tap into to provide students opportunities. So that's a pretty big download.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That was that you had that like pretty well. I don't know if that's the first time you've done that speech, but that was really like all your program all at once. We're going to take a quick side break to get Mr. Kennedy in here. So hang tight for 1 second while I get him in the lobby, and then we'll jump back in here. So give me 1 second. And we're back. And everyone's in the right box. All right, we're good. That's always the worst. You come back and it's like, wait, everyone's in the wrong spot. So, isn't Red Fox one of your coaches or players?
Yeah,
already?
so that is actually Jack Blahnik, our graduate assistant, one of the few esport graduate assistants in the country right now.
Awesome.
And that's what I thought. I was like, I recognize that name from somewhere. I was like, I think I seen it on social media or on something, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I know who that is. So,
well, hello again to the stream. I just got home.
yes, in his Glenwood jersey as well. Didn't even change.
Oh God, no.
So Kirk was just going over and telling us. David was going over and telling us like the program. You were here for that. What obviously from the look of it is like you guys are going for top tier. You're trying to compete with the Maryvilles and the elite schools out there. How has that been for you? Is it easy to recruit as like a first year program saying, hey, we're only looking for the top and being able to do it? Like, how has that been?
So it's not very easy to recruit, mainly because a lot of programs, when they start, they pull from their current audience, right? And when you look at your larger institutions like your IUC and your other Power 5 schools, the reality is they probably have some top tier talent already there. And don't get me wrong, we definitely have top tier talent here. Our clubs have been very competitive, but when you're looking at being, top of collegiate, you really have to start looking outside of the university, and it's hard to have that name recognition and get people to want to try out when you don't have that name recognition, because you've traditionally only competed at a club level and haven't, finished it anywhere near the top of the leaderboards. So, it was difficult. The thing that made it more difficult is I was brought in here in January, and we didn't get the opportunity to start our tryouts until April, which to put into perspective, we're just now finishing our tryouts for fall of 2021 right now for some games. So it wasn't ideal for the timeline. We're very fortunate that we have players as well as our student coach staff who are connected with some of the higher level players around the country, and we were able to get some of them in earlier, even though it was a rush timeline.
And wait, so that means I met you like 2 days after you took over or something?
You sure did. Yep.
Wow. Okay, that's why you look like just so scattered.
Yeah, I think that was my first week with the program was 66 games, because I think that was on January 16th.
Yeah, right? Somewhere around there. Wow. Okay. Well, you were having an interesting time.
Yeah, and to be fair, I did come from ISU, so I was familiar with the area. I was familiar with the university. So
Go Birds.
That part, yeah, that's right.
I'm an ISU grad, yeah.
That part wasn't too difficult. The difficult part was trying to remember all of the players' names as we were now being rushed into this tournament. So I really took a back seat there, and our graduate assistant, Jack, again, did most of the coaching as he had been doing prior to that.
Yeah, no, I definitely was this the Route 66 that was in the middle of the snowstorm, or was that the year before?
It wasn't a snowstorm. It was just sleeting sideways.
Okay, yes. Because I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it when I look at the forecast. I was like, Keith, you're down there. Did you want to go and speak at this panel? Because they want to.
I still drove an hour and change on some very not safe highway driving.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I can tell you that the next 66 games tournament is not going to be in January. We're actually working on that date, as I'm now part of the group that are putting it on, along with Wesley and some other folks.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Definitely. I mean, that's cool. Yeah.
So what's like the tryout process like for a lot of players who are looking to get, like, do you just show up at the door and say I'm here?
So it really depends. We look a couple times a semester at putting on just national level tryouts. But the reality is with esports, if there's a top tier talent and they're interested in coming to the program, then we will try them out regardless of the time frame and whether or not it falls within our tryout processes. That's simple as getting them in with some of our scrimmages or against some of our scrim opponents. We'd never try them out in an actual match, or if it's a match week, which right now in the preseason, we've got amateur leagues like Upsurge and Risen for League. We've got TESPA preseason for Overwatch. We've got Play Versus for Rocket League and CRL for Rocket League. So right now, we probably wouldn't look at connecting folks who are just interested without fitting inside of our general tryout time frame. The other piece to that is, when we are looking at just bringing in that top tier talent, we don't necessarily get a lot of folks who would meet that minimum requirement for us to look at right now. And that changes. We essentially look at everyone during our big, large group tryout format match, which we always have sign up forms on when you can sign up for those. Those are on our Twitter. Those are announced on our Facebook, Instagram, all the socials that Redbird Esports has. Nice plug there. If you don't follow us.
Actually, I found one of the tryouts for you guys on just Twitter and forwarded it to one of my Overwatch players, and he tried it for you guys a couple weeks ago. And so it was really interesting to kind of get an inside perspective on what it's like as a player, because he said he finished and then went to his bed and passed out like immediately because he was just so tired, because it's high intensity, high tier gameplay for a couple hours at a time, and that's really hard.
Yeah. But it's very telling too of a
yeah.
player. So something I'd always echo to students is, yeah, we look at skill. Skill goes far, but just like any other sport, attitude, communication, and your teamwork and your ability to communicate can put you above someone else who may be a higher skill level. So that's why it's so grueling and it takes so long, is because we look at a lot of different factors when we're trying folks out.
Yeah, he gave a really glowing report of it. He really loved the experience. But he said, wow, I'm tired after it. So along with tryout process, how do you guys narrow it down? This is something I've been always curious about for large programs who maybe have a lot of applicants. How do you narrow it down? Do you give like a metric for a bunch of things and just use a numerical score, or is it a feeling, or kind of what?
So, I mean, with games, leaderboards say a lot, right? And you can look at match history to look at consistency. So when most folks are trying out, there's such a huge skill discrepancy that we don't really have to look at some of those extra things like communication, game sense, which is extremely important, mechanical skill. Somebody for Overwatch may be great at ult tracking, but may, not be great in a few different other areas. So if we need an ult tracker on our team, we would look at bringing them in. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. We do try to keep it as metric based as possible, but the reality is most of the time our highest level players who are trying out are the best in a variety of different categories, so we normally end up going with them. But we never tell players that there's not an opportunity for them to compete, and if somebody doesn't make our team or our varsity team, we always encourage them to participate, still come to the university and participate in our club scene, because our clubs are really what we look at as our developmental program, where we're trying to build competitive club teams so that we can start tapping into them from a varsity level. My hope would be we have such a competitive club structure that we no longer have to look outside of the university when we're looking at tryouts. We just look at the students we already have here.
That's a really awesome kind of idea for a program, and it's awesome you guys can support that sort of structure.
So
yeah, we're working on it. We're pretty fortunate with Jack leading that charge right now.
So my question, so just to clarify, so people that are watching know, you have just those 4 games, varsity teams, everyone else competes at the club, but the club is still competitive at a certain level. You can be competitive or you can be casual inside that club.
Correct. Yes. So I'll use a few different clubs to provide examples. Our League of Legends club has, I think, 5 different teams right now, all at different skill levels from silver to gold. I think we've got a platinum level team as well, and maybe a diamond level team. And then, they primarily compete with one another, but there's a variety of different tournaments through CSL, which is Collegiate Star League. There's Play Versus, GG Leagues, which some of your folks may be familiar with. There are opportunities to compete as a team, but at a club level still. We really just reserve CLOL for our varsity teams because we want them to represent Illinois State, because they are technically the highest tier team. We also have clubs that just have a competitive team right now, but they do play with the community that aren't competitive casually. And that's our Counter-Strike team. They do 10-man pugs every Friday. Overwatch, They do 10-man pugs every Friday or 12-man pugs every Friday. And then Call of Duty, who are actually playing tonight or already played against UIUC in a tournament, are extremely competitive and ranked nationally. So even if they're not a varsity team right now, they can still compete in varsity level competition at the club level because there is no governing body for collegiate esports. Really, the only thing that's barring them from being a varsity team right now, or they don't hit one of our 3 metrics to make sense for us to onboard them. And those are enough student interest. So obviously, if you don't have students who are interested in playing the game, why make it varsity? Which Call of Duty has, CSGO has. Other universities competing at a varsity level, and we define that as either scholarship, facilities, some sort of buy-in from the university. It's not just a student-run org, which, again, all those games primarily have some level of university support in some capacity. But the really big one is developer support in a developer-supported league. So
CSGO. I come from the CSGO land. I know about that developer support.
Yep. So we're really excited about Rainbow Six because we technically have one of the top teams in the country right now, but they're at a club level, and Ubisoft just announced that they're going to be supporting a collegiate league. So,
oh my God, I would love to be a part of that. R6 is awesome to just play and try to coach and think about with friends.
Yeah.
Keith, is there any games that you don't like? Valorant, CSGO, League? I mean,
I play a lot of shooters. I mean, Valorant, CSGO, League, Rocket League, Siege. I play a lot of things. The only thing I'm bad at is fighters, because good lord, I am bad at fighters. As we witnessed at the Springfield Invitational last year, it wasn't good. It was not good. But I love just seeing a lot of these games develop, and it's actually cool to see Ubisoft throwing support at a collegiate team and collegiate level, because their pro support's been not the greatest recently.
So, as we're talking about your esports program, do you have anything to plug? I mean, you did plug some of the esports related things about ISU. Like, why else would a student want to come to ISU? Because again, a lot of these students might not. Well, Keith, you don't matter.
Hey! I went there and I loved it.
But let him do it. But like, why would they want to come to ISU? Maybe if they're not the highest ranked, maybe they'd be in that club group, but they still like esports and want to be part of that. Why would they want to come to ISU over going to somewhere else?
So if you're a gamer in any sense, ISU is a great spot for you, because we're really approaching building the program not with varsity at the forefront. Honestly, we have competitive varsity teams and we're getting a lot of national attention for sure. But what we're trying to cultivate at ISU is a community. So I'm gonna push back to my collegiate days. I went to Indiana University for undergrad, where I spent the better part of 40 hours a week in my dorm alone playing World of Warcraft, who many of you may be familiar with. I didn't make a lot of friends because I was invested in staying connected with the friends that I made online. So I missed out on a lot of collegiate opportunities. And that's something that I'm trying to change at ISU by providing those pathways. So, although our varsity teams are very competitive and we get a lot of national attention, the reality is our clubs are going to be where the most of our engagement is at the university, because you're going to capture those kids who are average, who are beginner level, who just love gaming to have fun. They want to hop on and they want to play Super Mario or Super Smash Brothers or something, right? They don't really care about being the best. They don't have time to commit to be the best. But they're gonna find their community, much like you find your community with traditional sports. You come to ISU and you find a basketball community or a weightlifting community or a dance community, a theater community, whatever it is. Gaming is going to be one of the largest communities that we have there. One of the other things that I'll say that folks should be really excited about for ISU, and this is some insider knowledge, while I can't give you direct information, I can tell you that our current arena, the Vault, is not our final facility. And we've got a lot of really great things coming here in the near future that are going to put ISU and the esports program on the national and global map.
Can you define near future?
Early talks are fall of 2021, more likely a
Ooh.
spring of 2022.
There's no space on campus. Like,
They'll kick someone out for something.
Are you tearing down old buildings I don't know about? Are you guys using the old executive parking garage next to SLB?
I'm just saying that there is an opportunity that ISU will have the largest collegiate esports arena in the country here in the next year or so, and it will be accessible, completely free for students to come and connect with their community. So, much like we have with the Vault now, high performance PCs, consoles. We're going to have some dedicated broadcasting space. So if you want to get into that industry, we're going to develop pathways with our School of Communications, with our game design program, with creative technology. So many really great things that are happening at ISU. And esports is at the center of it. So if you're a gamer and you want to either go into the industry or you want to just play, connect, make friends at college who like the same games you have, there's really going to be no better spot than ISU.
All right, Keith, what are you going back for grad school?
What was that? What was that, Todd?
How soon are you going back for grad school now?
I've been getting a lot of pressure from my parents to actually do grad school stuff, but
Great.
I don't know. One, I can't leave you high and dry because the league would fall apart. I don't want to dump my team, but man, you're making me want to go back to ISU. I just left there in 2018, man. Come on, I can't keep paying money like this.
Well, so if you're not part of our Discord community, one of the other great things is once you graduate, you can still stay part of the program through our Discord and some of the leagues and some of the tournaments and opportunities that we have. So we do have alumni who play in our pugs with our Overwatch and our CSGO teams, as well as do broadcasting for us.
I was actually never like the esports program. I just didn't really notice because I was part of the Solar Car team, and I wasted more or less a full-time job a week there. So I didn't really have the time for the esports team if I wanted to try it, but
that's okay. You just have to be an alumni.
I can prove that.
You're a gamer now, right?
It's right there. Oh yeah. Yeah. You want to drop a Discord link to us? We can put out there, or drop it in chat, or you need to send it to me so I can drop a link. But yeah, we can do that and put it in chat if you guys want to share that for alumni.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. We've got a vanity URL. It's discord.gg/redbirdesports. So pretty simple.
I can spell today.
The Discord is, I saw a question in chat whether or not it's public. We do have a public facing role as well as a prospective student role that allows you to engage with most of our clubs or other prospective students, depending on the event. It is relatively locked down, though, because it is just for ISU student, alumni, faculty, staff. But if you are interested, there are ways to get connected within
Your
that,
bot's named Reggie Bot. Oh, man, I love that.
Yeah. That's a custom bot as well that our students. So again, going back to that career or that industry experience you can get, one of the pillars of, or one of the divisions of our Redbird Esports Network is our technology and digital development role, where students are actively coding that bot, and we're actually developing video tutorial series to help other college programs and high school programs be able to implement things like verification so that you don't have to do it all on your own, as well as moderation and a few other things.
Yeah, Discord bots, I tried to make one and I got about 20 minutes and I'm like, nope, I'm good. It is a daunting task, and the fact you guys have one like fully custom is really cool.
Yeah, no,
so I'm gonna get verified there now.
Great. Keith is coming back. Good job, David. You got
no. I still got 2 more seasons to run, man.
It was such a good pitch of the program that
you can start in summer, Keith. I mean, that's still plenty of time for you to get all your stuff lined up. And
oh my god, I don't want to abandon my program though. I love these kids.
You can still coach them,
That's not how that works here.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate, but yeah, it's really cool to see that ISU's taken off with this, because it was something I was always kind of wondering when I saw esports teams pop up in like a varsity level at other universities. Because Wesleyan was off the gate a little bit earlier than you guys were, I believe. And I saw them, and I saw the advertisements around town. I'm like, why does ISU have one of those? And something I couldn't understand is a lot of big universities don't tend to do esports programs at a varsity level, or they're very hesitant to buy in because it's a recruiting tool. And they don't really need the recruiting.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of concern, specifically when you look at your Power Five or your state institutions in terms of buying in, because it's unproven right now. You don't want to buy into something full bore and then it just be a trend. So I think a lot of them are just waiting to verify it's not going to be a trend. But I think we're at the point now where it's kind of here to stay, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's awesome. And I would want to thank you for coming on to talk about your program and and just tell us a little bit about it, since it is first year and you guys are getting all this national attention. I think it's important for you to be on here because, like you said, a lot of the students that you might be recruiting might be from Illinois. And if you haven't noticed now, in Illinois we have some of the most organized and highly ranked players in esports. And that was been our job, is trying to get them to be seen by coaches. And with COVID last year, we didn't get to have our LAN events that we do, where we invite coaches and essentially have a big college college fair. I was trying to think of the word. It was like college fair. And we had like events planned at Ignite. We're gonna rent out a whole separate room and have like a whole college fair room in there, and that way you guys can come and talk to students. And then COVID happened, and I was like, oh, well, there goes everything that we had, all these big plans and all this big stuff we wanted to do.
Our players still got noticed. Like, even down to that, like, we still had players go to various schools. And it's really cool to see a lot of programs taking us, the league, seriously and noticing a lot of our players, because we stream as much as we do and break our backs trying to stream 10 billion games for the purpose of getting these kids noticed, because they deserve the spot. If they're talented, they deserve to get recognized for it.
Yeah, these kids are lucky to have folks like you who are invested in getting the word out for them, because I can tell you that is not universal around the country.
Yeah, no, definitely. And there's plenty of things out there that are not really promoting the students so well. And that's our one thing, is we want, just like you, like one of our things is to give kids experience. Either, if they want to do shoutcasting, is have student shoutcasters on, and also have students that are doing graphic design. I think this overlay might have been created by a student, if not this one of the other ones that I use.
It was one of your students, and then we're getting some other students to do. I have one student who does my overlays every week for Rocket League. He's also going to be trying to work on thumbnails eventually to get our VODs actually uploaded. And because we want to get
They're waiting for you, Tim,
teams to go look up other teams.
Yeah, but that's the whole idea, is we want to give them an experience. If they want to run a program, if they want to run a stream, like, they might not be able to run our stream, but then they can run their school stream. Like, a lot of our schools are doing their own streams with student shoutcasters and all that, and that's exactly what we want them to do, is branch out and get that experience now, so that when they come to you, maybe they might not be in that varsity team, but they'll be in the club, but then they can help you run your streams and run the other programs and be leadership for that group. So
yeah.
That's overall that's our overall goal, and we definitely want to create these relationships, especially with the schools in Illinois, because we do have, like I said, a lot of our kids go to schools in Illinois because we're here and they're local, and they want to stay in state, and so that's our goal, is to just create these relationships and connections so that you have an easier access to our students and you're able to see them and interact with them and talk to them about your program and be able to have them reach out and contact you.
Hey, in-state tuition's nice.
Yes,
in-state tuition is nice.
Yeah. The last thing I'll pitch and throw out there, something that we've not announced to anyone yet, so you guys are kind of getting the exclusive scoop. We're actually working with our clubs. World. We're actually working with our clubs and then our varsity teams, and we're going to be putting on a combine with all of our clubs, so all 16 of them, to recruit students who want to play on our competitive teams for next fall. So,
can you get me I know for that?
Yep. I'll be sending it to you all. Don't worry.
Yep.
So even if League or Overwatch or Rocket League, which are our varsity teams, aren't your cup of tea right now, and you're more interested in CS:GO or Super Smash Brothers or Rainbow Six, we'll have opportunities for you to connect with our clubs to potentially come and play on their teams for next fall.
Hey, let's say we actually have the Wisconsin guys in chat too. Yeah. Hello to you guys, and they asked the info too eventually, so we can get you in contact with them as well.
Yeah, that's Mike Dolly, if you don't know, if you haven't talked to him yet, from essentially our brother organization up in Wisconsin.
Got it.
So, but yeah, again, just want to thank you for being on here, and I know you got some stuff to go run and do, so I'll let you get to that. And if you have any questions for David here, his Twitter is Kirk Esports. Feel free to go ahead and message him. That's how I contacted him anyway. He is also on our server, so if you want to jump in the recruiters channel, go ahead and send him a message, and if you have some more questions about that, and then hopefully they'll post some of that information in our server when they get it for that stuff. So definitely, if you have any questions or you can't reach out to him, he's not reaching out to you, let us know and we'll connect the dots for you so you can get a hold of him. But thanks again, David, for being on tonight, and hopefully we'll be seeing each other soon at some point if we ever can.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and keep doing what you guys are doing. Honestly, what you guys are doing is starting to trickle up to what we're seeing in college. I already saw it, like we were talking before with Drew. And then I know that it's going to continue through. So thank you very much for what you two are doing in the rest of your org.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, with that, everyone, Keith, thanks for jumping in for the little bit that you could. We'll definitely be seeing you guys next week. I don't even know who the guest is next week. Wait, is next week the big week? Keith, do you have that handy?
If you're doing it Wednesday, I'm going to be in Naperville and probably unavailable.
Oh, that's unfortunate for you.
Oh my God. Do I have to bring a headset back with me?
Oh wait, next week is Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
No, next week we're probably gonna do something fun. I'm trying to put some games together. The couple weeks after that, guys, you don't want to miss our Wednesdays. We have a
pro player, right?
Pro player, yep, for League of Legends coming up. A couple other coaches, a couple other big owners of some big esports orgs. So please tune in. At least after.
Who are you bribing for these? Like, who are you bribing to get these interviews?
It doesn't take much to bribe. You just got to be that person. I'll announce the pro as we get closer to make sure he doesn't have other obligations that pop up at the last minute, because that tends to happen a lot, especially now with free agency going on. So I don't want something to happen and then have them cancel, and then you guys get all upset. So, but we will let you know as soon as we confirm it when we get closer. Probably a couple days, probably a week out. So stay tuned, and we will let you guys know. Other than that, have a great night, everyone. We'll see you next week.